Welcome to the debut episode of the Goal of the Year football show. We'll air our show every week and discuss many different interests and topics of whatever happens in the footy world. But first, we need to welcome our hosts, Jaden Fang and Lucas Christodoulou.
What's up,
Good to
everybody?
be here, boys.
Good to be here.
And to kick off the show, we've first got to review the round that was round 19. Very intriguing round. So Collingwood jump into the top four. The Dogs jump into the top eight after their thrilling win over Melbourne. But we'll start off with Friday night's draw between Richmond and Fremantle.
That was a thrilling game, to be honest. I reckon the Dockers should have won that, though. Many times they should have scored.
They were very lucky. Richmond, they blew two very key chances in that game, especially in the last 2 minutes. That Bolter and the other guy who played on the siren. That cost them the game.
Yeah, definitely not one to remember for Richmond.
I mean, Richmond doesn't have a lot to remember this year.
Jaden, your Hawks blowing out North Melbourne in very comfortable 46-point win over in Tasmania.
I was very happy with that game. Gunston coming back and kicking 5 goals.
Yeah, good. It was a great performance by him.
But that scruffle in the third quarter, that was a really rough moment. It's first McAvoy comes over to Simpkin and bumps him. Then Simpkin retaliates by hitting him, and then there's a huge fight in the middle.
Yeah, I mean
North
that's what you get
better, though,
in those sort of rivalry games, I suppose.
I mean, it wasn't really much of a rivalry in the last 2 years.
Yeah, well, the two Tasmanian teams.
Well, we might get an introduction of a third.
Yeah, possibly. That is another issue as well. But Sydney and Adelaide, another sort of not very interesting game. Sydney obviously taking the win by 33 points.
Adelaide just unable to score once again.
Yeah, they don't score enough goals, Adelaide, hence why they're not doing well enough on the ladder and in this year. I mean,
yeah, but Sydney, right? Sydney and Hawthorn, they both kicked 8 goals in the first quarter against the bottom two, the bottom 3 teams, which is shocking. But Adelaide, they came back in the third quarter. They were down by 20 at one stage.
Yeah, I mean, Buddy and Will Hayward both kicking 3 for the Swans. Rory Laird did have a shining light for the Crows with his 38 disposals, though.
Laird is the one that carries the team the most. He's the reason why Adelaide aren't not last.
Yeah, his disposals.
Laird picking up 38 disposals.
Yeah, they
definitely should have. They definitely could have won, but they weren't doing enough. They never had the scoring opportunities.
Yeah, then the primetime Geelong and Port Adelaide game. Geelong just getting the job done by 12 points, so it definitely did look at one stage as though Port Adelaide may win the game.
Ending off for the third quarter, Port Adelaide were up.
Yeah, and it definitely looked like they were right on top and ready to end Geelong's large looming winning streak.
Yeah.
Geelong came back.
No real standouts with disposals, but Tomahawk's 4 goals, probably the best performance of the game, I'd suggest.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
Agreeable.
Moving on to the 2 Saturday night games. Brisbane and Gold Coast was another very interesting one. Another one that looked as if Gold Coast may even get the job done at one point, but Brisbane just too good, winning the game by 17 points.
Gold Coast were pretty good. It was a really close match in the whole game till the Lions just found their mojo and they just started to play well again.
It really came back at the fourth quarter. Gold Coast had the whole third quarter.
Yeah, I would have to definitely agree with you there.
But that rich concussion, that was pretty bad how he got hit.
Yeah, pretty bad for Brisbane as well.
It's a huge loss in that battle.
Yeah, Levi Casbolt, another one kicking 4 this week.
Yeah.
And Took Miller never
Miller
fails to disappoint, another 34 disposals for the Suns.
Yeah,
We're gonna move to the
Miller's
Bulldogs
having
game.
an outstanding season.
Yeah.
Having
Then-
a better season from last year as well. Because last year he was pretty good. This year he stepped up his game. He has become one of the key players in Gold Coast.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. Then the big upset, the Dogs getting the job done over the D's by 10 points in a very thrilling game. Jamari Ugle-Hagen's 50-metre bomb sealing the deal. Your thoughts, boys?
Well,
It's pretty good actually. They were definitely up a lot more, to be honest. Actually, no, they came back at the end. They were up in the first quarter and then just came back at the end.
Melbourne were like up by like 20 at one stage.
I think it was
but-
26.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest lead.
Mm.
Hugo Hagen's a pretty good player for the Dogs. A key one for the future if he stays there.
He kicked 5.
Yeah, no,
Hugo.
5 and then that sealer from 50. He just kicked that like the way he kicked that from 50, like just running and kicking. That was a pretty good kick.
Yeah, look, just a breakout game for Ugle-Hagen. Bailey Fritsch also kicking 4 for the D's to keep it a close encounter. Obviously, a lot of
Gray
goals.
having his 29 touches. And also, yeah, that was pretty good from him. Also, Angus Brayshaw, 29
Yeah.
for him as well.
He has been a very good player, very solid contributor for the Demons this season.
Yeah.
Mm.
We're gonna move to Carlton.
Yeah, we move on to the Sunday games. Carlton getting the job done by 6 goals over the GWS Giants.
GWS just ran out of steam. They were staying in the game by third quarter, and then fourth quarter came, and they just blew them over.
I think it was at halftime. They were like down, I think, by like a goal or something.
No,
They were down by 3 points.
The
at
big
halftime.
The big 6-goal win, though, for Carlton, keeping their top 4 hopes alive. Paddy Cripps and Sam Walsh both polling over 30 disposals for them. And another 4-goal for Charlie Curnow as his Coleman medal season just keeps getting better and better.
You see how many, just Adam Sard as well played a really good game. All those intercept marks and that Specky at one stage. He had a good game.
Yeah, Toby Green definitely mark of the year potential as well, as the commentator said, almost reached the roof at Marvel.
But also for Port Adelaide, going back to the Port Adelaide game as well, Mitch Georgiades mark as well. That could contend for mark of the year as well.
Possibly. See how we go, I suppose. But, of course, probably the best game of the round, the Collingwood and Essendon game.
Jamie Elliott from 50 from the boundary.
50 from the boundary after the siren. A lot of twists and turns after the Pies went 37 points up at quarter time.
Are we going to talk about the other goal? Or are we going to leave that till later in the show?
Later.
Later? Okay.
No,
A thrilling performance.
scored that. If Jones scored that, that hit the post. That would have been the end for Collingwood.
Yeah, it would have spelled the end, but unfortunately couldn't get the job done for the Dons. Zach Merritt again, 38 disposals, been very good for Essendon as well. Nick Dacos having one of his lower games of the year with only 21.
I mean, 21. That's still quite a lot.
That's still quite a
lot.
Yeah, considering obviously he's a first-year player. All-Australian, do you reckon?
If he keeps up his form, then yes, he should. He could be All-Australian, playing really well.
I reckon you got to say he makes the 40-man squad.
Yeah, definitely make the 40-man squad for sure. Definitely.
Yeah, you've definitely got to say that.
All-Australian's pretty hard to make.
But Josh Dacos' goal though.
Oh no, we're leaving that to later. We're leaving that to later.
Oh,
talk about that later.
Yeah.
Okay. Time to talk about my team, the best team.
Yeah, and then obviously your boy is getting the job done as well over West Coast.
No, it was disappointing effort by us. They should not have scored as much as they should have. That just gets rid of our percentage from that game.
Yeah.
I mean,
Jack still picking up 40 disposals though was pretty good. One of his best games of the year. Dan Butler kicking 5.
that's
And Crouch being pretty good at the back. So it was pretty good effort from us, but we could have done better. A lot
Still,
better.
the
Jack
win.
Steele with his 40 touches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The win
It was
keeping your
a
top
lot.
8 hopes alive.
Now, so
Yeah,
put
we need to
on
win.
ninth now on the ladder.
We need the Bullies to lose and us to win. Don't think
Yeah,
it's happening.
effectively.
Do we segue into our next thing?
We'll do the
Yeah.
preview.
Yeah, we'll preview the next round of
And who our
matches,
tips are?
round 20. An exciting round, you got to say.
Yeah.
Yes. First
A
match
big-
tomorrow.
So,
Fremantle
boys,
versus
Big
Melbourne.
showcase
tipping?
game from Mantle and Melbourne tomorrow night,
gonna be a big
8:10
one.
Optus Stadium. Make sure you tune in for that one.
Who you boys tipping? I tip Melbourne.
I think Melbourne will win.
Yeah, we'll
Even
run
though
through
it's a
our
home ground
tips.
for
because
Dockers,
five-
Melbourne's gonna come.
Yeah.
I
They're
think-
amazing away.
I've got a bit of an interesting one. I've tipped Fremantle by 6 points.
Yeah, because they get Rory Lobb. Fremantle get Rory Lobb back, which is key for their forward line. And
Yeah.
all those contested marks he'll be gobbling up.
Yeah.
Would definitely agree with that.
But
It's
Nat
pretty-
Fife as well is a big out for Fremantle with his
Yeah,
hamstring.
no, that's pretty bad for them. He's
Yeah,
been
that's
out the
a-
entire year.
That's a
and he's
big.
gonna come
That's
out
a
again.
big.
But Melbourne, they've also got Jake Lever back as well. That will
Yeah,
strengthen their
Melbourne's
back.
form, you'd suggest
Melbourne's
winning
gonna
just 2 out of their last 7 games, not been very good.
win, but
So,
they're
yeah,
getting
Lever's
big
a
ins
big
now,
in for their defense.
and the Dockers losing one of their star players again.
Nat Fife.
Yeah, again, I'd say it'll definitely be a close game. I guess we'll see how it pans out tomorrow night.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about the easy one to bet on, Collingwood.
Collingwood and Port Adelaide.
I think
I
we're
mean,
all
you
betting
never know
for.
what could happen with Port Adelaide, but they've got a lot of key players missing with Dan Houston and Tom Cleary.
My
Even
boy,
though-
my boy's right. I'd have to say Collingwood get the job done just with Jordan De Goey coming back into the side, but there is a big out.
Jordan De
Brody
Goey to jail.
Myercheck.
Yeah, that's a big out for their
Brody
forward
Myercheck,
line.
a big laid out for the Pies.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Dursum is in for Port Adelaide. That's pretty good.
And they get Mackenzie back as well.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't
Okay.
put it past Port Adelaide to ruin Collingwood's 9-game winning streak, but I'd
It's
have
not
to
gonna
tip the
happen.
Pies
Pies.
should get it done.
It's
The
not
Pies
happening.
will get it done for sure. I'd say probably a 20-point win, 26-point win for the Pies.
I'm going to go the Pies, but by like 5 points.
I'm going 10. Putting him in between. I think it's
Alright.
pretty safe for the Pies, to be honest.
2
Next
10
game will be
game
the
from the
Sydney Derby.
SCG, the Sydney Derby. Who have you
Okay.
got?
So there's a lot of
it's-
outs in GWS.
Yeah, but
there's
they
a lot
got
of
a lot of
ins.
key ins as well with
Whitfield's
Whitfield,
in for Tom Green.
Josh
These are
Kelly
big
as
names.
well.
These are big names in for
Josh
GWS.
Kelly as well coming back in, key for the Giants midfield. Perryman key for the backline as well. Hogan
think
coming back in.
I
It's
think
going to be a tough.
GWS.
It's going to be a good Sydney derby this week.
I think GWS might come over the top. Honestly, they got a lot of ins.
Very interesting call, but
I know.
Pretty bold.
Interesting call. Stay
I'm
tuned to watch that.
I've
think
got to
I'm
back.
still gonna
I've got to
back
back Sydney.
I'll go with
Have a look at
Parkin
the
back.
Eatons.
Sydney.
And
Okay.
now we'll move on to the goal of the year nominations. We'll start with the Jamie Elliott after the Siren match winner against the Dogs. Your thoughts, boys?
Oh, that was pretty good actually. I rate it.
Match winner.
It was how do I describe it? I don't know. It was good. It was good. It wasn't great. It was good.
Jaden?
Yeah, I think it was a pretty good goal, especially from 50 meters from the boundary line. A very complicated shot. How Collingwood moved it from defense to the forward was really good. How they kicked it out from their defensive 50 to the wing.
Yeah, from
I think that almost makes the goal better. Watching the
yeah,
mark.
just like
and then
how
watching the
quickly
goal.
it went from Pendlebury to Moore to Bianco to Elliott.
Bianco dump
Yeah.
pass the legend.
But I feel like I've got to say the loudness and excitement in my house was
Out of the roof.
out of this world. It was
Crowd
so
as well. The celebration.
It's pretty good. I watched it live, and I was like, yeah, this is going.
Yeah, I had the
I kind of wanted
music.
Essendon to win though. I kind of wanted to watch the upset.
Yeah.
It would be a good thing from Essendon if they won.
We'll move to the Ugle-Hagen goal.
Oh, that was good. I'm
That was
thinking out
really
there,
good.
55 on left. on the
Yeah,
left foot.
55 on unbelievable finish late in the game.
He didn't even it looked like just like it looks like those type of balls who how you clear the ball.
Yeah,
Basically.
and it just kept going and going.
Straight to the middle. I bet if Hugo Hagen keeps this up, his kicking reminds me of his long way kicking reminds me of Buddy, basically.
Yeah.
The left foot from 55 or 60. That's how far he can kick, Buddy.
Yeah.
Pretty far.
Yeah, no, that was
Hugo
good.
Hagen keeps it up, he'll be Buddy Franklin one day. I'm telling you.
You refer everyone to as Buddy Franklin, to be honest.
I'm not.
Yeah,
Joking, he literally can be.
But of course,
He's
the main
pretty good young
goal,
talent.
the main nomination of the week has to be Josh Dacos' unbelievable handball basketball tap, 2 bounce snap.
Yeah, no, that was class.
That
Class.
was-
All class.
You can't beat that. It was just
Yeah.
smooth.
Yeah.
I reckon
handball.
that is the goal of the year for me.
So far, I'm not sure.
I think the Ed Langdon one was pretty good as well.
That one's good.
From back, I don't know, round 10 or something.
I
Yeah,
mean,
but-
I'm just waiting for a torp.
Out.
A torp. A torp from 60. That would be the best goal.
Yeah, but I reckon so far you got to say,
Talks from 60s aren't really nothing.
But if we want
usually
something,
see
that's what we
goal of the
want.
year from
Imagine a match winner
tucked in
on the
pocket,
siren.
skills.
He goes in for a torp. He kicks it. It goes spiraling through the goal.
Depends if
It's
from
a goal.
If it's from 100, then maybe.
And to make
100, yeah, he's
make
kicked a
and to
100-meter tall.
and to make Tarkin excited, it's Collingwood's grand final.
Oh, yes, even better. Nah,
Exactly.
Well, like
But-
Tom Sheeds won in 2018.
Yeah. You love a torp. You gotta love a torp.
yeah,
Okay.
but Josh Dacos goal of the year for me.
Yeah, that's
Seen better.
pretty good.
I've seen better, definitely.
Yeah,
I have seen better, but we'll do goal of the week. We'll call it goal of the week.
goal of the week for
Definitely goal
sure.
of the week. For sure, it's goal of the week. But
Goal of the week.
this week's goal of the week, pretty good, nominations.
Pretty good roundup.
Yeah. But that is all we have time for on this
No,
episode.
we're missing. We're
Got
missing.
the
We're missing.
YJFL.
Why JFL?
No, I can't be. We can't do that.
Okay, we'll get rid of that.
Yeah,
That's it.
I'll just cut that out. Whatever.
I'll put a conclusion. Okay, Wes. Thank you for joining us today on the podcast. Next week we might have some special guests. So we'll see you in about a week and a bit.
Yeah, a week
I'm
or
not
so.
sure.
Yep.
See.
Thanks, boys, for coming on tonight.
Thank you. Thank you for
Thank
having.
you.
Thank you,
for
Duncan.
having me and Lucas.
Thanks,
Yep.
Ted.
See ya later.